everybody? It is I, Joe Thunder, and welcome back to the stream. We are continuing in Supreme League of Patriots. This is Chapter 3. Chapter 3 out of 3. I've been enjoying this game. It's got some hiccups in it. It's not a perfect game, but it's funny, and I didn't spend that much on it, so I would definitely recommend this game so far, as long as you pick it up on sale. So, one thing I'm going to be doing in this game is I'm going to be saving kind of frequently, just so that way I can get achievements easier if I miss them. Mel looks sad. Or he's just tired.
What are you doing up before midday?
I can't lounge around in bed all day like you, old friend. Amoral felons with voracious appetites are taking toxic bites from the Big Apple. The city cries out for a hero, and I heed her call.
The guy across the hall wake you up playing Led Zeppelin riffs again?
Yep.
You know, he's gonna be famous one day.
He will if the police ever find his body.
Alright, so let's turn voice up a little bit.
What's this doing over here?
I use it sometimes to watch the stars.
Ah, yes. Astronomy can be such a peaceful and relaxing pastime.
Not that. All the stars from the real chicas of Jefferson projects go to that gym across the street, and the locker room window doesn't have smoked glass.
Really? All those hot Hispanic dames writhing around in soapy water and...
Whoa, cool your jets there, Maverick. With tights that tight, you can't afford to pitch a tent or you'll rip your canvas.
Oh, God, you're right! Okay, have to concentrate. Yep. Whew. Okay.
What are you doing?
Thinking of Nancy Pelosi and waiting for it to go down.
What are you doing?
One of those hot chicks from the gym is having a shower, dude.
I don't think...
Quiet, old friend. She's getting really soapy. That's it, baby. Nice and slow.
Mate, it's not pointing at the gym anymore. Mrs. Korinsky at 3482 phoned and asked me if I could help her look for her glasses.
Oh, dear God, she's 87!
I did try to tell you.
So, I guess that wasn't a bathrobe after all. I'd rather not carry around anything we don't need.
How do you know we don't need it? It might come in useful later.
True, it could be useful. In fact, I think we'll almost certainly need it at some point. Still, I'd prefer not to pick it up until we're absolutely sure we're going to need it and have a cast iron purpose for it.
That's the stupidest excuse I've ever heard. Pick it up.
Fine. I don't know where I'm supposed to put this huge thing.
Just don't put it down your tights and frighten old ladies with it. We get enough complaints every time you buy French bread.
I wouldn't mind so much if you would actually eat the bread.
Oh my gosh. This game, it still makes me laugh. It got like kinda cringy towards the end of the last chapter, but oh my gosh.
I made Melvin put the Occupy Wall Street poster in his room so that I could replace it with something more patriotic.
I suggested a picture of an elephant taking a dump on the Constitution, but I was outvoted. My computer doesn't get much of a look in now that we have the Patriot pewter down in the Patriot Cave.
In that case, maybe we could...
No, that does not mean we can install Windows 8 on it. I still have standards, you know.
It's that Ukrainian army's surplus space heater we bought.
They mentioned this in the last
Allow me to
episode.
put this in context. The country which experienced Chernobyl decided that this space heater presented dangerously high levels of radiation.
Oh, it's a nice little heater. Plus, it gives everything a nice orange glow when you switch it on.
Yeah, but that nice orange glow doesn't go away when you switch it off.
Can I take it?
Let's take the space heater with us.
Over my dead body. Let me rephrase that, because I have a nasty feeling that might appear prophetic in the near future.
It's perfectly safe, you yellow belly.
Dude, I saw the import certificate from the store that shipped it into the country. They classified it as an IED.
But
Have you even got any pockets in that outfit?
I think you know that I haven't.
So you're just going to pop it down your tights, are you? I guess it'll save you a fortune on condoms when you sterilise yourself.
Oh, this game. I love that it still makes me laugh. I love that. Like, I thought maybe by the end of this, the last chapter, if you didn't see it, it kind of got a little bit cringy and like a little stale on the humor. But like, just the stupidest jokes they have. I love them so much.
It says here that games consoles are soon going to come with always online functionality and integrated webcams, which will allow Homeland Security to spy on people whenever they're in front of their TV.
It's good to see some simple, common sense policies from government these days. This sort of thing could save lives, old friend.
Yeah, I can see how having thousands of analysts sorting through footage of gamers eating crisps and masturbating would make America safer. It says here that Nick Grimshaw is still losing listeners after taking over the Radio 1 breakfast show.
Sorry, faithful friend, but I fear my lack of awareness of British pop culture is letting me down here. Unlike all of your British cronies, I find myself asking, who's Nick Grimshaw?
On the contrary, that's exactly what all of my British cronies are asking. It says here...
Okay.
Are you ever going to throw this pizza box away?
I'd love to, but the trash is full.
Did it occur to you to take the trash out?
I try to stay off the streets these days, old friend. I fear being mobbed by my fans everywhere I go.
The only time you've ever been accosted by fans was that girl who wanted you to get the Hamburglar's autograph for her.
It's my faithful assistant, Melvin.
I'm not sure it's entirely proper to call an atheist faithful.
I call you an assistant, and yet most of the time you either hinder me or act as some kind of morally superior walking conscience.
Touché.
Mind if I bend your ear, old friend?
You know, with the amount of hate that comes out of your mouth, my ear really might bend one day.
Okay. So we've had a different snack each game. What snack's going to be today?
Chili knickknacks?
Yeah.
You should have worn thermal undies. Have any missions come in on the Patriot pewter, old friend?
Nothing so far. How exactly does superheroes work anyway? Do we just wait for someone to hire you like a private detective?
No, we have to be proactive. We have to go looking for trouble.
Like what? Wander through the South Bronx at night asking passers-by if they have change of $1,000 bill?
No, I mean I have to scour the city with my super hearing to listen for gunshots.
You're gonna listen for gunshots?
Right.
In New York?
Yeah.
Well, at least you'll never be bored.
Have you ever noticed how superhero names always have the same first letter for the first and last names?
Sure. Alliterative names are really common in comic books. Peter Parker, Lois Lane, Kathy Kane.
Linda Lovelace.
No, mate. She wasn't a superhero.
That all depends on your perspective, old friend. Have you ever noticed... Linda... I need help.
Admitting it is the first step, mate.
Is the second step you helping me?
Dunno. What's up, mate?
On second thoughts, I don't need any more help.
That's a questionable assessment.
Stick around, old friend. I may have need of you later.
I must have done something very bad in a previous life.
I take it this is gentle enough not to offend your sensitive liberal sensibilities?
I can tolerate it. I just think you might have a twisted view of Jesus.
What do you mean?
We're talking about a guy in his 30s who never married, never had any children, and hung out with 12 guys and a prostitute. I'm just not sure he was batting for your team. Just saying.
I'm not taking this poster down. My boy one colleague already forced me to take down my preferred version of this poster.
It implied that God is a non-smoker.
My Moses poster used to be here, but this picture of Fat Boy makes me much happier.
So there is still some of Kyle left in that addled brain of yours. You do still care about some of the old causes like healthcare and stopping corporations from crushing the little guy?
No, but I lost my dartboard. Of course, it does make things a little too easy. You'd have to be a really bad shot to miss that big fat head. There's no need to take it down yet. It's still holding together nicely, despite all the dart holes.
You needn't think you're upsetting me. I'm gonna do something obscene to something you hold dear.
You leave my Sarah Palin action figure alone.
I've never noticed before, but why has your flag got 56 stars?
It's the Republican version of the Stars and Stripes.
So?
It leaves room for expansion.
Ooh, snap.
I cannot do that. This flag dips for no earthly king.
When we ran out of paper towels last week, you were drying dishes with it.
I've started keeping my tights in here.
How many pairs have you got? You must get through a lot with all the rough and tumble of being a superhero.
Only got 2 left. Some days I just paint purple stripes on my legs and go commando. I can't afford to change my tights unless absolutely necessary. I only have 2 pairs left.
If there's a more camp reason for not being able to respond to a major criminal showdown in New York than having a ladder in your tights, I haven't heard it.
Most of my clothes are in here. Not including my work clothes, obviously.
I love the notion of referring to your costume as work clothes. I wonder if other professions do that.
What do you mean?
Well, I wonder if prostitutes refer to their pimps as union reps.
Or if NASCAR racers have to carpool on the way to the Indy 500.
I don't think changing out of your costume now is a good idea.
I know. I was just looking to see if I have any of my old tights still.
What's wrong with those new ones you ordered?
They're still chafing.
I told you to see Nurse Julie about that.
I did, but she recommended lotions, unctions, and demulcents.
So what's wrong with that?
I was hoping she'd just give me a cream for it. This elastic cord has hooks on either end. It comes in really useful for,
We just like screwing around with it.
it disguises the entrance to the Patriot Cave. We wouldn't want prying eyes to see the Patriot poles.
Also, we don't want the landlord to see the bloody enormous hole we made in his wall.
It might not be covered under minor alterations in the tenancy agreement. It doesn't really do anything at the moment.
I knew there was a reason you and it had bonded.
This little doohickey could come in really useful one day.
Hey look, it's Mrs. Johansson's cat. Mate, you should probably disconnect that from the other...
That's the thing about cats. They always land on their feet.
This one landed on Mrs. Johansson.
Good idea. You never know when I might need to change into the Purple Patriot in a hurry.
Although it will increase the potential for you blundering into the bedroom drunk, falling into the closet and down into the Patriot Cave, where I find you lying in a pool of your own saliva in the morning.
That only happened twice.
Oh man, I couldn't say take it.
That door leads out to the hallway. In years gone by, we used to leave our doors unlocked.
We had to leave our doors unlocked. You lost our keys.
I didn't lose them. I knew exactly where they were. I just didn't want to get them.
Yes, well if you can't face the consequences, don't play key party with ugly birds. Don't open it!
We're up to date on the rent now, old chum, remember?
Sorry, force of habit.
Looks like we gotta go to the Patriot Cave. Exhausted all options.
The Patriot poles. They're only used when we have crime to fight and need to access the Patriot Cave.
I still don't see why we can't get a couple of strippers over, have a few drinks.
Never! Do, any of those strippers at Club 47 look like Lori do?
Not really.
Never! We should head to the Patriot Cave and see whether there are any pressing matters which need our attention.
Yeah, plus I want to see if that Greatest Hits of Elvira album has finished downloading yet.
Why would you want to download Elvira's greatest hits?
I misheard the title, okay?
Mel bought this equipment to ensure I get plenty of exercise and stay in the peak of health.
It works too. Every time I suggest he use it, he runs a mile. It's the best cardiovascular routine he's had in years.
Not just now, thanks. I had a large lunch.
He loathes any kind of exercise.
That's not true, old chum. I used to be something of a yoga enthusiast. In fact, now that I come to think of it, I can't remember why I ever gave it up.
You didn't give it up. They banned you after you decided to demonstrate the rusty bike pump on Freeform Friday.
Ah, yes. I seem to recall that Loretta was equally underwhelmed by the king pigeon. Mel bought this equipment.
You
Do we actually know anyone with a pacemaker?
Not anymore. Funny story, but I'll tell you at dinner. What is it with you and clean underpants?
Once bitten, twice shy.
Same as the last game.
Can we please take this sign down, old friend? It makes us look so wussy to have warning signs all over the place.
Not all the time your Patriot mobile is a convertible. I mean, whose idea was it to build a route which ends up in a sewer anyway?
I think we ended up using the same architect that built the George Washington Bridge. It's the way out of the Patriot Cave.
Don't you think it's about time we looked into an alternative exit from the Patriot Cave?
Why would we do that, old friend?
Currently, the only way to get out of the Patriot Cave is to get into the Patriot Mobile, drive along a disused sewer pipe for half a mile, whereupon we emerge via a hidden exit in Jefferson Park.
What's wrong with that?
It just seems a bit of a convoluted route when all I'm doing is going back to the kitchen because I forgot to switch the microwave off.
In many ways, the Patriot Mobile is the automobile personification of me.
It's gaudy, has a large trunk, and processes a startling amount of gas.
Jump in, old chum. Let's get out on those mean streets and kick some ass.
We don't actually have a mission yet, mate.
Is that important?
Well, if we just roam the streets of New York in fancy costumes, beating 7 shades out of anyone who looks a bit foreign, we become less like superheroes and more like the Bowery Boys.
Fine. Let's hurry up and find a mission then so we can get out there and beat people.
That's the spirit. It's our state-of-the-art computer.
That I spent a fortune on. I wouldn't mind, but the damn thing still beats me at Minesweeper. I just give it a good kick. That'll teach it.
Just goes to show that artificial intelligence is no match for natural stupidity. It has a lot of processing power to spare, you know.
Maybe we should get it to run that distributed computing program which searches for extraterrestrial life.
I already did, but we've got so much computing power, we analysed the entire data set. It found extraterrestrial life.
Where?
Ever watched Jersey Shore?
It found extraterrestrial intelligence in Jersey Shore?
If you'll remember, I didn't actually use the word intelligence.
Fire up the Patriot pewter, old friend. I want to know which malevolent miscreants are up to no good.
In New York, you'll have to be a lot more specific than that.
Just find me something juicy and evil and guaranteed to get me loads of publicity.
That's strange.
What is it?
Remember a few weeks back when we got called into work to transcribe some interviews? I think it was the day of your audition.
Old friend, I don't even remember what I did last night.
You drank an entire bottle of tequila in a pint glass while I chanted, "Down in one, down in one, down in one."
Well, that explains the short-term memory loss and pounding headache.
Yeah, and it'll give you a fair explanation for the puddle of vomit in your tights drawer.
I thought my tights were a bit squelchy this morning. Fire up.
In New York. Remember if
Oh.
you...
You probably gotta talk to Mel now.
Mind if I... So come on then, tell me about this strange thing you found on the Patriot pewter.
Well, Sam wanted to run analysis and search patterns on those police interviews we transcribed. So when we got the Patriot pewter, I thought I'd run them here too. We've got a crapload more processing power than the NYPD.
And what did you discover?
Well, between the three guys, they have 7 known associates who work for a company based in Brighton Beach. You know what that means, don't you?
They're circus people.
Or they're Russian mafia.
And Lieutenant Griffith thought that there was something going on with these people?
That was her hunch, yeah. I remember one of them was a former army colonel called Zirkov.
I can't seem to find a mission.
Looking for a raison d'etre, are you?
No, I had a Pop-Tart earlier. I'm just looking for something to put some meaning in my life.
My mistake.
So, what do you suggest?
Well, we paid a small fortune for the Patriot pewter, and all we ever do with it is play Farm Utopia 2020. Why don't you try using it for something productive?
Stick around. What can you find on the Russian Mafia? Any recent activity?
They've just bought Portsmouth Football Club. Again. Let me see if there's anything more local. Bloody hell.
What is it? More pictures of Mitzi Madison getting out of a car?
The NYPD are shutting down parts of Midtown.
That's a bit of an overreaction. I mean, even if she's not wearing underwear, they don't have to shut down entire streets.
Will you forget about Mitzi Bloody Madison? A gang of criminals with ties to the Russian mafia have taken control of Wilson Chase Bank. The NYPD have got it locked down, but the criminals have a bunch of hostages. Does that sound exciting enough for you?
I'll be there with bells on.
I see you're still intent on learning sarcasm.
No, really. I'll have bells on. The only shoes I could find that match this costume were some elves' shoes from the Christmas pageant.
Let's go do some Purple Patriot stuff.
This is it, old chum. The moment we should have been training for.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Of course I am. This case hits the superhero trifecta. I get to take down America-hating scumbags, win media adulation, and make Lieutenant Griffith all wet into the bargain. What? You don't think seeing me in action will get Lieutenant Griffith all wet for me?
Maybe if she pisses herself laughing.
Go ahead. Mock me. When this case is over, I'll be the best thing in New York since sliced bagels.
Just get the Patriot Mobile started. I'm gonna grab a few gadgets.
What the hell is wrong with this expensive hunk of junk?
I don't know. You drive the bloody thing. Has it been giving you any trouble?
Not really. She smokes when we go flat out, but I have that effect on all females.
Well, use your initiative. The bank is being robbed and you need to be there to prevent it.
Fear not, good citizens of New York. America's proudest superhero is here to defeat evil and restore order to the streets of Manhattan.
The bus. Can't he fly? Why would he take the bus if he can fly?
Here we are then, mate. Your biggest task yet as a superhero. Think you're up to it?
Of course! Which way is Mitzi?
We're at the bloody bank. Please get it into your head that this is absolutely nothing to do with some professional train wreck and or washed up movie has-been.
Alright.
Do you think this squad car belongs to Lieutenant Griffith?
I don't think so, mate.
It's my...
I'm not sure it...
Man, that's a fine ass on that woman. That's rear of the year right there.
Must be because she doesn't talk out of hers.
Do you think I could ever win rear of the year?
Not unless they change the rules so that it's judged purely by circumference.
Well, let's talk to Mel first. Well,
Purple Patriot.
I came as soon as I heard there was trouble. How did the police get here so quickly?
There's a donut shop next door to the bank.
One of the clerks in the bank hit the silent alarm. We were on the scene in minutes, but they already had the place locked down tight.
Has anyone seen my raspberry jelly with the sprinkles? I think I left it behind when we got the call.
Tell me everything about the situation.
What do you want to know?
Have you been able to ascertain what happened?
According to an eyewitness, a van pulled up outside the bank around 9:30 a.m. A gang of men dressed in combat fatigues and wearing balaclavas jumped out and ran into the bank.
Any idea of numbers?
Our witness wasn't sure. Between 4 and 7. Since we've been on scene, we've only been able to spot 3. 2 in the back office and 1 in the lobby who keeps checking his watch.
He probably wants to get home in time for Modern Family. Tonight, Cam and Mitchell hire an uptight conservative au pair with hilarious consequences.
I understand these guys are Russian mafia.
According to our witness, they spoke to one another in Russian. We've been working some leads which suggested that the Russian mafia were planning something big. This must be it.
Those Soviet savages are probably trying to start another Cold War.
Well, at least you've got something in common with them, eh? Remember those Russian names you had us, me, run at the station a few weeks ago?
What about them?
Well, one of them had ties to the Russian mob.
Yeah, some jerk-off who used to be in the army.
Not Jerkoff, Zerkov. His name was Colonel Zerkov.
What did you find on him?
He had a reputation as a brutal foe, and there were rumours his squad were involved in torturing civilians in Chechnya. He was forced out of the Russian army after footage leaked of him brutally beating one of his own men after a failed mission. After that, he hooked up with a Russian crime syndicate, where he quickly earned a reputation for killing anyone who stood in his way.
And he's at large in New York?
So it seems.
I hate tourists.
Rushing around.
What demands have the hostage takers made?
None. They haven't made contact.
Nothing at all? Isn't that a bit strange?
Typical immigrant workforce. They probably don't speak the language.
Oh, God.
They could be buying time to come up with a plan. They probably didn't count on the police getting here so soon.
Where is the van the gang arrived in?
The driver took off.
Probably panicked when the police arrived on scene.
Actually, no. Our witness was very specific. The van left immediately after the gang got out.
Well, you know, armed robbery is one thing, but parking on a double yellow line is just bad manners.
That's enough for now. Thank you, Detective.
Anytime.
We'll talk later.
I look forward to it.
Save here. And I'll be right back. I need to take a quick break. I said it'd be quick.
You know, whoever came up with the idea of making donuts with cornmeal was onto a winner.
Oh, sure. Who wouldn't like to get their tongue around a nice cornhole?
Putting a trash can here is just asking for trouble. It's too easy for one of your idiot Occupy protesters to leave an explosive device in here.
Do you mind? The Occupy protesters are non-violent.
Is that so? What about that melee in Oakland?
Those were probably Raiders fans demanding the team go back to LA.
That huge expanse of glass gives us a distinct advantage. We can see into the bank, but the perps can't see out.
They can see out.
They can? Oh, crap. I hope they didn't see me giving them the mutza. That...
Let's take a look at
It's my mobile phone. It has a 20 meg...
Same joke as last time.
It's my laptop. You can use it just about anywhere.
Sometimes I take it into the bathroom with me to play Farmutopia on the can.
Fortunately, I always carry disinfectant with me for situations like this.
This elastic cord has hooks on either end. It comes in really useful for,
We just like screwing around with it.
See.
It's that Ukrainian...
Are they?
Okay. Those are all the same thing.
What's...
Lieutenant, I can end this ugly siege for you. Let me in there, and I'll bring you 10 dead criminals.
What about the hostages?
You want them dead too?
Sorry, Purple Patriot. If it was just 10 bad guys, I'd cheerfully let you beat the crap out of them. With hostages in there, I just can't take the chance.
I've got a plan on taking down the hostages.
That's great. What is it?
You might want to hold your praise until the end. His idea for eliminating Al-Qaeda was to remove the letter A from the alphabet.
Hey, no one would be frightened of El Qued.
The plan?
Right. Dive through the plate glass window, taking down one of the perps with a kick to the throat. Vault over the bank counter and take down 2 more with judo throws. Then run through the double doors into the rear of the premises, dodging bullets and incapacitating bad guys along the way. What do you think?
I don't know. Sounds dangerous.
Then don't do it. Stay here with us. We'll talk later.
Alright, hold on. So we could use the phone on here.
I could call someone in the bank, but I don't have the phone number of anyone in there.
I don't know why your phone has a contact list in it. No one ever gives you their number.
Lieutenant Griffith gave me her number.
If by gave you her number you mean left her phone unattended long enough for you to snaffle it, then yes. Yes, she did.
Alright, so I think we just need to speak to Mel.
You have to convince Lieutenant Griffith that I can resolve this conflict.
She's worried about bloodshed.
There's no need to worry. I'll make sure those Marxist muttonheads shed plenty of blood.
Hostage blood. She thinks you're a loose cannon. We'll never convince her that she's wrong.
Why not?
Because you are. Maybe we can convince her that I'm competent and able to keep you in check.
What claptrap. She clearly despises you.
Oh, she hates me, all right. No question about that. She still respects my abilities, though.
What can you do to show Lieutenant Griffith that we can be useful in this situation?
Suppose I could get into the bank's computer system. I could get into their security subsystems, monitor security cameras, count the number of hostiles. Hell, if I could get into City Hall as well, I could bring up schematics of the building and overlay the location of each of the perps onto them.
You can really do all that? So it's true. You really can do anything on the internet these days.
Yeah, it's not quite that simple. There is some technical skill involved as well.
Of course, you're a genius. That's why I have you on my team.
Oh, I thought it was just a thump on the filing cabinet when you get stuck changing your costume.
I'm Kung Fu. So, what? Do I just give him the laptop?
Do you mind if we set up on here?
If you scratch my paintwork, I'll do what all women do when they want to make a man's life not worth living.
Watch out, mate. I think she's gonna marry you. I'm connected to the bank computer system, but I need a login before I can do anything.
You're supposed to be a hacker. Hack.
From a cold start, trying to find a back door could take days, if not weeks. It would be much better if we did some social engineering.
You mean, like, get a dog and a cat to mate?
That falls more into the category of playing God. I was thinking in terms of persuading a bank employee to give us their login details.
Do you have access to the bank schematics?
City Hall says I don't have sufficient security clearance to be allowed access. If we wait until the feds get here, they'll have access to them. But when the feds take over, any hope of a successful mission will have vanished. The Goddamn bureaucracy in this job will be the death of me.
Assuming those foot-long chili dogs don't get you first.
Okay.
What's wrong with him?
He gets self-conscious whenever anyone mentions footlongs.
Are any of the bank employees around? We were thinking they might be able to help us.
Actually, the deputy manager is talking to the captain. Why?
He could probably help me with the bank's computer system. We might be able to get access to the security system and retrieve some useful intel.
He would never agree to that. It's illegal and he'd lose his job anyway. Sorry guys, but that's a non-starter.
We'll talk.
Alright, City Hall. Whee! Oh no.
I don't know why they don't take this thing away. There's never anyone here to use it.
I wish they would take it away. I have to keep reading out safety warnings because apparently some idiot injured himself with it and threatened to sue the mayor.
That's a coincidence. We keep getting phone calls to the Patriot Cave from some cretin of a personal injury lawyer.
Ixnay on the Arkshay, old friend. It's a corkboard with various City Hall notices pinned to it.
Due to the high relapse rate, the Mutant Growth Hormone Addiction Support Group will be moving to larger premises.
That's from the Marvel Universe, at least. It's what Patriot took to get his powers until he got a blood transfer.
It's a cork.
Due to the high...
What's Fruitcake doing here? We had him arrested for assaulting Nurse Julie, didn't we?
Maybe he got let out early for good behaviour.
Ugh, disgusting.
What is? What's wrong?
I just pondered about the sort of things a guy like him could do in jail that would qualify as good behavior. Now I need liquid brain soap to get the thoughts out of my head. Turn around, puss bag. I'm going to put you in handcuffs.
Well, this is so sudden, and you know I don't normally do submissive, but...
Enough innuendo! I'm putting you back in jail where you belong.
I'm still in jail, perps. I'm only here on work release.
What have you got against this guy anyway? He's only trying to be a good example to his peer group.
Being a superhero is the most manly of professions. Except maybe hairdressing and interior design. Superheroes have no business being gay.
Please. What about that billionaire industrialist who became a vigilante superhero after he watched his mother and father humiliated on an episode of Jenny Jones?
A perfect example, old friend. He is a skilled martial artist, a master tactician, and he has a vast array of high-tech gadgets. That guy is a man's man. A true macho superhero.
Uh-huh. And he adopted a young boy to live with him and dressed him in a spandex leotard and tights. I think we all know which pole he's sliding down every night.
What happened to the Cold War warrior? Isn't he supposed to be working here?
He was, but he had his citizenship revoked, and he's been deported.
About time. We fought a Cold War to keep commies out of this country.
What makes this any of your concern anyway?
You know Lone Nut Pete from the neighborhood?
Tall guy walks with a limp.
That's him. I saved his life during the war in Afghanistan.
You were in the war.
No, he was. I got him out.
I only have one question. Was he called Lone Nut Pete before or after you got him invalided out of the war? On second thoughts, I don't want to know.
Surely you've picked a damn name by now, you unimaginative windbag.
I'm trying, really I am. I was going to call myself Wonder Buns, but I was getting cease and desist letters from a bakery in Queens.
Look, I just wanted to say about the incident.
Incident. You mean when you lied about Nurse Julie, got me to arrest her for a crime she wasn't committing, and then had me arrested, all the time neglecting to mention your entrapment, just so you could get your name in the papers? That incident?
How dare you! I can't believe you would besmirch the name... besmirch the name of an honorable law enforcer. I should sue you for defamation. I did all those things to get my superhero license, not to get my name in the papers.
Good job on seeing past the bigger picture to the minutiae.
Thank you, old chum. I need the schematics to Wilson Chase Bank.
Oh my god, I cannot believe you're turning to the dark side.
He framed you for assault. How much of a surprise could it be?
Well, when you put it like that, just wait until the guys at True Believers hear about this.
I don't want to rob the place, you mascara-wearing maniac. I want to prevent a robbery in progress.
I don't have access to that sort of information, perps. I'm a convicted felon, thanks to you.
Listen, you pirate of men's pants. I'm trying to do you a solid here.
Are you on the turn, mate?
I'm talking about a favor. You wanted to be a role model, but you're a convict and your name is Mud. I may even have inadvertently contributed to your troubles. All right, I was an ass. Happy now. But this could restore your reputation. If you helped me get the bank schematics and I foiled the robbery, you'd be up for an assist.
They really don't let me have access to that kind of thing. But maybe I know someone who can help. You guys know Stan, right?
The lounge lizard who owns True Believers?
Right, well, he used to be a superhero himself, and he still helps out some of the younger guys from time to time with logistics and support. I just bet he has schematics for all the banks in Manhattan.
Great. Let's roll, old chum.
You won't forget my assist, will you?
Relax, former felon. When I get done telling people about your stellar assistance, you'll be as famous as that guy that helped Paul Revere warn Hancock and Adams. You know, old, Slowpoke. I have to go. There are guilty criminals roaming the streets of New York.
What a coincidence. I hear there are innocent people sitting in our jails, too.
It's broken. Now how am I supposed to get a ticket?
What do you want a ticket for anyway? There's no bloody queue.
Without a ticket, how am I going to get my parking validated?
If the worst comes to the worst, we'll just ask the parking attendant you parked on top of.
Alright, to True Believers.
It's a corkboard with various leaflets and postcards pinned to it.
Single room available in Soho Loft. Ideal candidate would be able to make themselves scarce first Thursday of each month for Vanguard of Villainy meeting.
It's a...
Single room of...
Unlike the last game where there was a crap ton of things.
For a small bar, I must admit that Stan has an impressive range of drinks available.
You might think that, mate, but those bottles are actually just painted onto the cabinet.
Stan has a very dignified appearance, don't you think? The mustache really suits him.
Yeah, much more than it did when he was white.
White? How could he be white?
Stan hasn't always been black. For a little while he was white.
Don't be ridiculous, confused comrade. You can't just change your skin color.
Clearly you've never read Punisher vs. Shark Jumper.
Hey boys, what's your pleasure?
Discriminating against minorities, passing judgment on anyone who looks different to us.
Are you ever gonna let this go, tiresome assistant?
No mate, I'm not. You can say what you like, but I'm convinced you only did it because she wasn't Caucasian.
I don't care who she voted for. It was an accident, pure and simple. I didn't even see her lemonade stand until after I'd trodden on it. This is a superhero bar, right?
Superheroes, supervillains, fans, yeah.
Any hot groupies in today? I could regale them with tales of daring do.
I didn't know you'd taken up daring again.
Oh yeah, ever since I pulled a muscle trying to buckle my swash.
I told you that would happen.
Sorry boys, Mighty Man Mountain was in this afternoon, and the cutest groupies left with him.
What's he got that I haven't got? I've got the body of a Greek god! Right, faithful friend?
You've got the body of several Greek gods, mate. You've got the liver of Dionysus, the childbearing hips of Hera, and the genitalia of Hermaphroditus.
Stan, have you always been black?
Why do you ask, son? Does the color of my skin bother you?
Of course not. You were a superhero, and like all good fundamentalists, I don't mind black people so long as they're sporting stars, stand-up comedians, or superheroes.
Well, son, I was white for a few weeks in 1992. I was on the run from a whole bunch of mafia types. And I figured the best way to lay low was to have a doctor bleach my skin white.
What happened? Why didn't you stay white?
Well, the bleach had an unfortunate side effect on certain areas. I either had to buy smaller pants or go back to being black.
That must be why Michael Jackson was always grabbing his crotch, trying to figure out where it had all gone.
Oh my gosh.
I understand you operate some kind of Cliff Note scheme for superheroes.
I don't know who you've been talking to, boys, but I think they were playing a joke on you.
Take it easy, Pops. No need to overload your pacemaker. We're not with the cops.
You boys must think I'm an old fool.
We were hoping.
Go on, Stan.
I've seen you guys going in and out of the 125th precinct. I've seen you hanging around with that hot detective in the leather jacket, too. This is obviously some kind of sting operation.
We work there strictly on a civilian basis. We just need your help with some schematics.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I can assure you, leery landlord, we're not cooperating with any law enforcement operation.
I know a setup when I smell one.
Well, we have been framing a lot of people lately. That's probably what you can smell.
We may have engaged in some morally dubious conduct, but we're in no way allied with law enforcement.
Yeah, these days we're more morally aligned with criminals than anyone, especially Captain Corruption here.
Well, now it's funny you should say that, young man.
Really? Then why don't I feel like laughing all of a sudden?
I have a little job you could do for me. You'll actually be killing 2 birds with 1 stone for me.
He means we'd be achieving 2 goals with only 1 task, mate. He doesn't actually want you bludgeoning any innocent aliens to death. Just saying.
So you have some favor you want us to do for you, right? My life seems to be one long list of favors for people lately.
punctuated by occasional breaks to viciously beat people with alternative lifestyles and harass anyone with the wrong skin colour.
Are you guys sure you're not with the police?
Just tell us what you need us to do, Pops.
I just recently sent my application to have my license for this place renewed. Trouble is, I accidentally spilt something on the application form. So when the state liquor authority received it, they spotted some white powder and immediately sent it to the NYPD for analysis. I have it on good authority that it's been booked into evidence at the 125th precinct. If you boys could get it for me, that would prove to me that you're not trying to entrap me, and I'd owe you whatever help it is you need from me.
You have got to be.
We'll do it! Thanks for the information.
Can I get you boys a drink?
Not for us. We're on duty.
I've got non-alcoholic options.
Which are they?
Any of them, really. I watered the drinks down so much, they're all technically non-alcoholic.
Pass. No alcohol for me. As a registered superhero, I cannot allow my judgment to be clouded by intoxicants.
Yeah, it's already clouded by homophobia, a double-digit IQ, and a bizarre fixation with Nancy Reagan. Any more clouds and your judgment will be totally fogged in.
Alright, let's talk to Mel again.
Why did you snigger when I mentioned that Fruit Loop besmirching my name?
How is it even possible to besmirch your name? Last week you got a citation for curb crawling in the Patriot mobile.
That was a misunderstanding.
Really?
Really, I have no idea who that guy was. About this little favor we're doing for Stan, old friend.
Yeah, what the hell was going through your head when you agreed to that one? And don't give me any of that end justifies the means pony either.
Listen, Quixotic cohort, this is the real world out here. It's all very well having lofty ideals and principles, but those of us at the sharp end sometimes have to make compromises if we're to achieve anything. Occasionally, we have to make a deal with the devil to get things done.
Yeah, well, when you shake hands on this deal, remember to count your fingers.
I need... It's a public phone booth.
Who needs public phones anymore?
Well, they're really just...
Presumably.
Same joke as last time.
I don't really need to call anyone right now, which might be just as well.
Same joke.
It's not...
Same joke.
Jeez.
That's not.
Do you think...
Uh-oh.
I see your fan club is here.
Ah, jeez, I just can't get rid of this harpy, can I? Didn't you used to be a receptionist at the AGS auditions?
And didn't you end up working in the TV production office after that?
I found my calling in life, reporting the news for the good people of New York.
Of course. What better job for a woman? You're actually getting paid to gossip. The only way this job could be any sweeter is if you got to do a bit of professional nagging on the side.
Do you have something against women in positions of authority, Purple Patriot? Are you intimidated by powerful women?
Listen, lady. If I'm not intimidated by how much perfume you're wearing, I'm certainly not intimidated by that microphone and that little badge they let you wear. Hey, Woodward or Bernstein, don't you know the big news story is downtown? What are you doing here? Waiting for a shot of the perps being driven into the station when the real action is over?
Real journalism is about talking to the right people and asking the right questions. While all the other sheep are standing around with vacant gazes and letting events play out, I'm going to get the inside scoop direct from the source.
Just make sure you don't get in my way, news witch.
From what I've seen of your exploits, I doubt you could keep up with me.
Don't worry, mate. This woman changes her job more often than you have hot dinners, and you're up to 4 a day. By the time this case is resolved, she'll probably be a pastry chef. I don't mean to be personal, for once, but aren't you Hispanic?
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, if Channel 8 is just for rednecks and racists, why did they pick you as a reporter?
Same reason they pick all their reporters. An amazing set of gams.
I'm the token immigrant to placate all the liberal critics. I'm Peruvian, so I don't look any darker than Megyn Kelly when she's been in the sun.
I always assumed she'd turn to dust if she went out during daylight hours.
I have no further comment for the press.
That's fine. I'm mainly interested in speaking to your victims.
It's the NYPD calendar.
This year they picked 12 officers.
That's a fantastic cause.
Don't you think you've contributed enough to the Widows and Orphans Fund this year?
If this is about those 2 rookies who got into a spot of bother in Brownsville, that's a complete exaggeration. It was an unfortunate situation, but they both survived.
Spot of bother? They stumbled into the middle of a gang battle and had to survive for 30 minutes without backup because you had half the Brooklyn PD out rescuing you from the baboon enclosure at Prospect Park.
I was in pursuit of a felon and I took a wrong turn. You wouldn't believe what those creatures were flinging at me, old chum.
Sam's Lexus is still in the parking lot, so she must have taken a blue and white.
That's because she's responding to an emergency and needs a vehicle which commands respect. Every time you get behind the wheel of a vehicle, it sends a message to people. Just like me with the Patriot Mobile.
Oh, please. You getting behind the wheel of the Patriot Mobile is one of the 7 signs of the apocalypse. This notice board contains an assortment of...
I don't suppose my Supreme League of Patriots recruitment poster is on there, is it, old pal?
Nope. Sam said you're forbidden from soliciting for members on NYPD property.
I can't imagine why. We're all fighting the good fight, aren't we?
So you say, but your posters are designed to appeal to knuckle-dragging, narrow-minded thugs whose only interest in law enforcement is legally victimising minorities.
So what? If people like that are no longer welcome in the NYPD, you'd think they'd be glad to let us have them.
Well, I mean, he's half right.
This desk belongs to Sam.
I see there are no articles about yours truly on here. What can I do to get Lieutenant Griffith to notice me?
Getting people to notice you has never been the problem. Now, if we could just stop them sniggering when they notice you, that would be progress.
Another cheap dig at my costume, predictable partner.
It's not just the costume, mate. It's your demeanour and the words that come out of your mouth. You don't make many friends in the course of a day, do you?
I admit that my rhetoric can, at times, be a little heavy-handed. But sometimes you have to indulge in a little hyperbole to get noticed. We superheroes have to ensure that we continue to get media coverage, you know?
You should be less concerned with your low profile and more concerned with your low forehead, mate.
There are a bunch of flat screens up here. You've already got 3 for your workstation, old friend. What could you possibly need more for?
Those screens are all awaiting repair. The one which is covered in correction fluid belongs to Profarci. This box contains several larger boxes.
Wait, what?
This box is packed full of chocolate coins in gold paper that I managed to convince Kyle were bitcoins. This box contains the explosive device I used to stop people going through my boxes. Or was that the one on the left? This box contains the aroma of onion, celery and pepper being tossed into a hot roux. This box contains my hopes and dreams. This box was reserved for a Kickstarter backer to write the description. This box contains all the letters that Mary Ellen Stewart ever sent me. Okay, technically that her attorney ever sent me. This box is empty. I'll bet you thought Stan's evidence would be in the last box you checked, didn't you? This cabinet contains all of my tools. Phillips screwdrivers, needle nose pliers, cable ties, nail clipper, lump hammer. It's all in here.
What's the lump hammer for?
To discourage interruptions. Touch that and you die.
Oh, don't be so melodramatic, theatrical teammate. I'm not going to break any of your stuff.
No, literally. I wired the cabinet casing up to the mains to burglar-proof it. Here, let me do it.
Touch it and you die.
Right, all safe now. Go for it. This cabinet can...
What's the lump?
Oh, well.
It's a trash basket. It contains a lot of used printer paper.
Including several screwed-up janitor second-class examination papers.
Apparently, some people felt that, in the event of a toxic chemical spill, putting newspaper over it might not be sufficient.
Well, let's talk to Mel.
About this...
Yeah, what?
I'm having trouble getting into the bank's computer system. Lieutenant Griffith will...
What?
I'm struggling to find that login.
Have you tried our...
Yeah, but she says the deputy...
Maybe so, but Sam has feminine wiles that could twist any man around her little finger.
I don't think that's true.
Really? What about that time she got you sorting through the contents of a dumpster looking for evidence by promising she'd buy you dinner?
Well, sure, but she kept her promise.
Yeah, she gave you a voucher for a cheese sandwich at the police canteen and then went out for dinner with that guy from the DA's office.
I suppose she does have a way of getting what she wants from guys without having to give them what they want in return. You think she could persuade the bank's deputy manager?
I have no doubts. Now, whether you can persuade her to try is another matter entirely. Best of British and all that.
Finding this package of questionable substance for Stan is, troubling, old friend.
Thank heaven for that. I'm pleased to hear that there are still some moral lines you're unwilling to cross.
Not that load of bunk. I'm troubled because I can't find the package.
Good. I hope we never find it. Then I won't have to endure those sleepless nights wondering what horrors I've contributed to. Mind you, knowing Profarci, he's probably misfiled it again. Most items headed for the evidence locker end up in one of my cupboards or drawers in the tech room.
Interesting, old friend. Very interesting.
This
What?
this box is empty.
It's
We're at another one of those moments.
finding.
Okay, well, we tried. Well, let's go back to the bank and we'll talk to Sam.
I bet you could persuade that deputy manager to give you his login. You could use some of that famous charm of yours.
And if that doesn't work, show him your thrupnies.
Not a chance. I am not going on a date with some snot-nosed kid barely out of college to get his login details.
Think how good it would look to your boss if he saw you getting the information you need to resolve this crisis.
Ugh, the things I do for the people of New York.
Is she going into the donut place? Nope, she's just walking off.
Do you think she'll persuade him?
How many horny, nerdy college kids do you know who wouldn't give Sam anything she wanted in the hope of seeing her mustached pagoda?
You're the only horny, nerdy college kid I know, old friend.
Touché.
Okay, here's the login. And that greasy, squeaky-voiced kid is not even getting to first base on our date.
He's a banker. He's already screwed the entire country. He's due a strikeout this time.
We'll... It contains the username and password of the bank's deputy manager. I can't make sense of it, though. It seems to be random numbers, letters, and punctuation marks.
That's because some paranoid nutcases think that using their own first and last names separated by an underscore is something of a security risk. Logging in now. I don't think you need to worry too much about Spotty McPhee over there, Sam. From the stuff on this guy's computer, I'd say he likes them older than you.
How much older?
GummyGranny4U.com?
Ew.
Over 80 and still Beatty.com?
Egads, enough already, old chum! I do not need to see a woman with cod liver oil capsules in one hand and KY jelly in the other.
Okay, we've got access to the system.
I'm having trouble.
What seems... Have you tried...
Okay, so we already did that.
Yeah. Thank... Aha! Found it.
That was kind of stupid right there.
And
They used
it's
the
done.
computer again after using it.
You've got into the security system? You have access to the cameras?
No, I just gave myself a $50,000 overdraft.
Quit putzing around with that thing and get into the security system!
I can't. Only the security manager has access to that. The deputy manager's account does have full system privileges though, so if I had the security manager's employee ID number, I could switch you into his user account without his password or credentials.
Easy. Look it up on the computer.
It's not listed, for security reasons. All I've got is his mobile phone number. Here, I'll write it down.
But if we can get his employee ID number, you can get into his account, right?
Absolutely.
How hard can it be?
Well,
What's the security manager's number, Melvin?
I just gave it to you, on that little piece of paper.
Oh, right, of course. I'm going to phone him and ask him for his security ID.
Mate, he's being guarded by a goon with a gun. You might get him killed.
Those are the kind of risks us law enforcement professionals take every day of our lives.
Bollocks. The biggest risk you've taken all week was that stack of maple bacon pancakes you had for breakfast yesterday.
Wilson Chase Bank, hostage speaking.
Give me that damn phone.
Oopsie.
Now turn around and face me. I want to see exactly what you're doing from now on.
That went well.
It's all part of my plan, old chum. All part of my plan.
Oh, so what's the next step of the plan?
The plan is in a, transitional phase at present.
As in transitional without a paddle?
I've had a great idea. If I throw this telescope through the window, I might knock one of the perps out cold.
Or you could look through it and spot the security manager's badge with his ID on it.
I guess.
What's wrong?
I got quite excited at the prospect of throwing it at someone.
Okay, if you look through it now, you can throw it at someone later.
Deal! Write this down, old chum. KV 31 17 12.
This is the employee ID number, right? You haven't just decided to order some Chinese takeaway.
I am a law enforcement professional, faithful sidekick. I know when I have to keep my mind on the job. Do you think pancakes go better with bacon or bananas?
why not both?
Melvin, it's time for you to do what you do best.
But I've been making sarcastic wisecracks all day.
I mean, it's time for you to get into the security manager's account.
I knew that. Right, we're in. I've got access to the security system, including the security cameras.
Check the vault.
That's strange.
What?
There's no one anywhere near the vault. They've got guys all around the bank, but no one anywhere near the vault. Let me check the security logs. Yeah, just as I thought. No one has made any attempt to open the vault electronically. It's like they're not remotely interested in the contents of the vault.
Something smells worse than week old pickled herrings in a sauna, old friend.
It's probably that aftershave I bought you for Christmas.
Excellent value, though. Very few fragrances are sold by the leader.
Well, this is the only other place. I mean, we might just have to do some stupid clicking around and talking to people.
What?
Those This box. This.
It...
The thing is, I can't, like, use any items, which is what makes it interesting. You can try talking to her again.
Isn't there a Girl Scout cookie sale you could be reporting on?
Why are you so frightened of the media, Purple Patriot? Something to hide?
What, in those trousers?
Can I get...
Not for us, kindly liquor huckster. We're working.
If pushing people around and making ourselves feel important can ever really count as work.
Thanks.
Single room of...
These booths are always empty, old friend. Apart from the old guy who always sits in the booth at the end.
Is that the guy with the book who's always making deals?
Yeah, and if anyone ever offers you a 10-point spread when the Jets are playing the Patriots, take my advice and walk away. We don't have time to sit down, old chum. Besides, my muscles are so finely honed that I never actually need to sit down.
Hemorrhoids still playing up?
Oh, God, yes!
We're just gonna keep walking around talking to people until we get something.
You just can't...
I like to keep my friends close and my enemies even closer. Also in front of me. Always in front of me.
Alright, so we can't go out front like we usually do.
I'm not ready to...
You must admit, as these things go, sliding down a pole is a pretty short commute in New York City.
Okay. We could be stuck again. What else could we do? Apparently there's a package that I'm missing. Oh my god. Seriously? There's
a sealed envelope in here, old friend. Is it yours?
Oh my god.
No, it's that bloody idiot Profaci again, I wouldn't mind betting. He keeps filing evidence in my tech room. You know when Hurricane Sandy caused all that damage, and the NYPD had to announce that thousands of barrels of evidence had been destroyed?
Of course, old friend. It was all over CNN.
Yeah, well, a few hundred barrels were destroyed. The rest had just been misplaced by Sergeant Scapegoat.
Wait, if this is evidence, could it be the evidence we're looking for?
I don't know, mate. Shall I hold on to it?
Better had, old chum. We need to see if this contains Stan's suspicious substance.
Oh my god. I can't believe that. Friggin' the drawers versus the cabinet. That's some serious bullshit. And how did the guy get it in there if he has it?
It's an envelope we found in Mel's drawers.
Would you care to rephrase that?
This envelope contains misfiled evidence. We're just not sure what it's evidence of at the moment.
A monumentally poor judgment call on your part would be my guess.
Do we just go here and give it to Stan? Maybe I gotta speak to Mel and he'll open it.
Finding this package of questionable substance for Stan.
Thank he-
Not that.
It's not often I open an envelope hoping it's a timeshare brochure, but this might just be the exception.
What have you got in there?
A letter from the liquor licensing board and a plastic bag containing something which is unlikely to be scouring powder.
Well, we've achieved our goal at least.
If by achieved our goal you mean sold our souls to the highest bidder, I'm inclined to agree.
I'm starting to feel a little uneasy, old friend. I'm not sure if it's the morally suspect conduct or the 7-pound, 12-egg breakfast burrito I had for lunch.
Well, if it's the latter, just keep your exhaust pointing away from me.
Okay, dokie.
It's an envelope containing a letter from the liquor licensing board and a plastic baggie filled with a white powdery substance.
If Sam finds out we've got this, she'll be handing us each an envelope containing a pink slip and what remains of our genitalia.
We managed to intercept your evidence before it was processed.
Oh man, you guys have no idea what a relief this is. If the NYPD had gotten a hold of this, it would have been curtains for me.
Just in future, be more careful with your recreational substances.
Oh, this isn't for personal use. That's why I was so worried. If the NYPD had received this, they would have figured me out and put an end to my import-export business once and for all.
Are you telling us that you're a dealer?
Well, of course. Do I look like someone who would be using this stuff personally? You didn't think I could possibly make a living from a bar that's half empty all day, did you? The demand for this stuff is so high, and it's so hard to get to the distributors, that there are huge profits to be made.
Our campaign of justice just hit a new low, mate. We are so going to hell.
I must admit that this does seem a little more extensive than I had originally intended, suspicious sidekick.
But boys, think of all those happy children you helped.
Children? Sweet baby, Jesus, what have we done?
Thanks to you, tens of thousands of Chinese babies will be drinking safe formula milk, imported from the Netherlands. The quality and safety monitoring in Europe makes their formula incredibly desirable for Chinese parents who can afford it.
I can't help thinking we pulled our asses out of the fire by the skin of our teeth on this one, old friend.
What a charming and anatomically incorrect metaphor that is. True though.
Oh my god.
Right, we retrieved your Dutch bottle candy. Now we need some bank schematics.
Anything for my favorite customers.
We're your only bloody customers. This place is always empty.
It's true, things have been really slow for weeks. Many of our regulars are boycotting the place because we banned Magma Maiden after an unexpected visit from the fire inspector. Nevertheless, you boys really helped me out with that formula. What bank do you need help with?
There's a siege at Wilson Chase Bank. If we can get the schematics, we think the officer in charge will let us take over the rescue operation.
Oh, that should be no problem. I have schematics for almost every bank in the city. They're surprisingly popular targets for supervillains.
No shit. You'd think that people who could warp reality, control time, and manipulate their own molecules would find a more ambitious goal than knocking off a few banks.
Here you go, boys. This SD card has a full set of schematics for Wilson Chase on it. It should give you a real advantage over the lowlifes who've taken control of it.
Many thanks, magnanimous moonshine merchant. Thanks for the information.
Okie doke. So there was a little bit of bullshittery there, but this game always has a moment or two of it. This series. I wouldn't say this game, because there's multiple games.
This SD card contains the schematics for Wilson Chase Bank. We must be careful this doesn't fall into the wrong hands. What's the matter, old friend?
I'm just trying to ponder whose hands we could put it in that'd be more dangerous than you having it.
Can I put it in my phone? Okay.
We now have full access to the bank's security systems.
My trusty sidekick has some useful intel for you, Lieutenant. Schematics of the bank and live feeds from the internal cameras.
Did you hack into the bank's computers?
This isn't about me or how many laws I broke. The important thing here is we now have an advantage. Just think how useful we could be if you let us into the bank.
Have you completely lost your senses?
I'm hanging around the Purple Patriot, what does that tell you?
I could lose my job if I let you in.
That's coward's talk. I thought you were a fellow champion. Champions don't fear failure. They grab life by the balls and demand success. If we succeed in there, you'll get promotion.
Plus, if we fail, we'll most likely be dead, so you can deny everything.
I know I'm going to regret this. All right, I'm going to buy a donut. If you happened to enter the bank while I was gone, I couldn't possibly be blamed.
Ooh, if you're going for donuts, I'll come with.
Forget about bloody donuts and get in here.
Oh, right. Thank you, Lieutenant. I've just had a brilliant idea!
You're gonna beat the bad guy over the head with the whiteboard?
No. If I switch my savings account to Wilson Chase's new regular saver account, I get a $50 switching bonus and get a whopping 3.4% interest on my balances, subject to status and depending on their assessment of my circumstances.
Maybe I'll just hit you with the whiteboard and make everyone feel better.
On the other hand, this would make a good weapon to hit the perp with. It's one of those money-grubbing pinkos that have taken over the bank.
Not to argue with you, but if these guys really are communists, why would they rob a bank?
Why wouldn't they? Everyone likes money.
But the whole point of communism is that everyone is equal.
See, that's precisely why you can't trust the left. They pretend they're not interested in money, and as soon as your back is turned, they rob a bank.
Okay, I had some fun, but it's freaking almost 11 o'clock. I'm going to call it here for now, and we'll come back to this probably tomorrow. Thanks for watching if you did, and if not, well, thanks anyways for being a person in the universe. Bye.
That whiteboard looks a bit tasty. I bet we could cause some damage with that if we could only get someone to help with a distraction.
Thanks, Mel. Bye, guys.